Good morning. It is May 27th of 2023. Wanted to show you what's going on in the garden. It's been a little while since our last tour. The spring is pretty much over. Most of the blooms have died back. Just want to show you the roses. So these are the At Last roses. I planted 22 of them along this front fence last year. And unfortunately, we lost 8 of them over the past winter. We had some really cold and early warm up, so I think that's made them struggle. And we also had some rabbit damage. So I replaced some of the plants earlier in the spring, and you can see we're getting a few small buds. I'm hoping that because I transplanted these in the spring, they'll have more time to root in and get healthy. The irises have just started to open up. The peonies are also just starting up. The verbascum, this is the Southern Charm verbascum, which I planted here, I think 2 years ago, and they've come back really reliably. They're such a beautiful combination of colors. There's like pink and pale yellow, and they have reseeded a little bit, but not aggressively. So I've been really happy about that. I planted them with some foxgloves, which really have not survived here. The peonies are just starting to open up. Our peonies tend to get a lot of powdery mildew, so I'm going to enjoy them while they're looking nice. These geums I've been really happy with. They've been blooming for a couple of months, and they really look, you know, they're starting to fade a little bit at the bottom, but they have just a beautiful kind of pale yellow and pink color. They provided some early spring color as well. And then this is the Calamantha nepida, which blooms a bit later in the season. It's a real good pollinator plant. Our chamomile is doing very well. This all was self-seeded. I did scoop 2 plants out and put them in the corners of our garden bed down here. So if I back up, you can kind of see them here, and they're huge. And then there were so many plants, I actually transplanted some into pots at the end of the beds too. And they're all over the ground. So I've been collecting the flowers. You can't really see that from the camera, but if you get close in, there's just chamomile everywhere. This is my onion bed, which we just added. I grew some onions from seed this year, and they didn't do very well and didn't take well. So then I grew some more, which are these teeny tiny sad things that may not make it. But luckily at the local garden center, they had some onion starts. So that's what's in this bed also. Finally planted our peppers out. We still have one night in the next week where the low is going to be around 46, but the rest of the nights are going to be above 50. And you can see a lot of our pepper plants have been blooming for a good long while and even are producing some peppers. So they really needed to get into the ground. We couldn't wait anymore. So I'm just going to show you what we planted. We've got poblano peppers here. Then we have Anaheims, jalapenos, puma peppers, buena mulata, and some habaneros, and ghost peppers are way down the end here. They are separated out by our eggplants because I want nothing to do with them. Those are Dimitri's babies.
I have 4 ghost pepper plants. I'm planning to make some excellent hot sauce with them. I love a good hot sauce. And we actually love all these flavors of different peppers. I never really liked pepper that much before, but I realized that it's because I just didn't like those boring bell peppers that you see everywhere. But like these ones, the poblano and Anaheim and all of these, they're just delicious. You can put them in anything. You can stuff the poblano peppers with beans and top them with cheese and roast them. They're terrific.
And then we have 3 Rosa Bianca eggplants, and didn't really have enough space for all the eggplants in this bed because I planted some onions early in the spring and they really didn't take very well, but I have a few still there, so I'm leaving them some space. And then in this next bed, I transplanted a few more eggplants. So we have 2 in the front, which are Ping Tung, and 2 Rosa Bianca. Probably don't need this many eggplants, but you know how it goes. You have all these starts, you don't want to throw them away. And then we did transplant a couple of tomato seedlings from some of the ones that were frost damaged. So I replaced this one today, which is a Thorburn terracotta. And then we had a few over here that we replaced. One Sun Gold and Aunt Ruby's German Green. This tomato tomato, I didn't have any to replace it, but it is coming back. The top died, but it does have some suckers growing. So I think if you just trim the top and let one of these suckers take over, that can be the main growing stem. Some of these other ones suffered some damage, but they are looking pretty healthy at the top. So we'll see. Now that the weather's warming up, they should start to take off and recover.
And over here, I have my overflow area for tomatoes. This is where the reject plants from our planting didn't really make it into our main area, but I just can't bring myself to throw out any of these plants. So these will be the overflow tomatoes, and I'm sure these will give us some additional fruits. Here we have a black crim, also one of our favorites. Over there we have a spoon tomato. We haven't grown that before. I'm looking forward to how that looks. And then these, I forget what these are already. We have, what is this, Thorburn and an Aunt Ruby right here. So we'll see how those turn out. My honeyberries are ripening. Look at this. It's perfectly ripe. Yep, that's a little bit under. That'll be a little tart. But look at the size of the berries on this plant. Look at that, compared with these. These are just delicious. I highly recommend trying them if you can find them.
Will that work?
Bee update, May 29th, 2023. We're examining our top bar hive.
Ah!
So looking through our window underneath the top bar hive, we can see that the bees have really built up combs on each of these top bars.
Shit ton of comb.
So we just need to examine them all right now. We're going to pull them all out, examine each one individually. All right, let's begin.
Whoa! I just broke honey everywhere by accident.
Great.
Look at this comb though, it's a big. Why did you ladies make this comb like that? Well, they don't like being brushed, and the brush kind of catches them. This one's not as bad, but like.
That's quite a bit crossed.
Yeah. So let's see what we have. Can you just put it down, please? Alright, pretty good. Now, which way should I turn it? I don't know where the queen is. Oh, I see a big droney. Oh, that's a beaut. Good job.
Oh, that's perfect. Let's see.
We got some good larvae. We've got honey, pollen.
So if we look through our nice viewing window over here, we can see, I don't know if you can see this, but the bees have made an impressive number of combs. We've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and a 13th comb happening there. And these are completely full. I think the bees are doing very well. Okay, let's close it up for today. Alright, I think that's all for today. Just a quick video, quick walkthrough. We'll get back with a fuller tour of the garden a little bit later in the season. Until next time, see you later.